In this video, let's take a look at how to create schedules. So we've added all of the windows and doors, and we can create schedules for these doors and windows. And one of the coolest features of Revit is that it calculates all of the doors and windows, and even if you move something, it automatically recalculates that and changes the schedules automatically, so that you don't have to go in and change those manually. So in order to create a schedule, all you need to do is to go in your project browser and then go to schedules and quantities, right click and say new schedule and quantities, and it's going to ask you what kind of schedule you want to create. So we want to create basically a dough schedule. I'm just going to select dough schedule, and it's going to be here. The name is going to pop up here. We can change it if you want. I mean, why would you change this name, dough schedule, right? The others I'm just going to leave it as it is, and we can say OK. And we can include any fields that we want in our dough schedule. So we definitely want the family and type of the dough. We want the count. That's really important to have, the number of doughs that we want to include, and maybe even have a comments field where you can add comments about that particular dough. And then what else? We can have the mark, which is the name of the dough. And maybe the width and height, if we have the height somewhere. Height, there we go. So the width and height, those might be important as well. So I'm gonna move these, the mark to the top, then family and type, then count. Maybe using these arrows we can move those. Comments, I'm just gonna move that way as well. Alright, and then let's go in and see what we can do here. And I'm just gonna leave it as it is right now, and let's see what happens. I'm gonna say OK. We're creating schedule, and when I say OK, it's gonna pop up like so. So right now what we have is the mark is the number of the dough, but what we really want is not the mark. We want the type mark. So what we can do is we can go back and change this mark. In order to change it, all we need to do is go and go into the fields and then edit the fields. So here you can go and edit the fields. So rather than mark, I'm going to select it, I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to bring in what is called the type mark. So let's bring that in and pop it to the top, and I'm going to say OK. So now we have the type mark. So the type mark shows us the similar type of dough. So this dough number 15, we have 2 of those. So that's the double. Let's just move this here. Double flush panel dough. This is the double flush panel dough. So we have 2 of those, and then we have this one. We have a bunch of these type of doughs. So that's what we want to have, and we can go ahead and we can change this as well. Like we can go ahead and say we can rename this. So I can say this one is going to be D1. It's going to be called D1. This change will be applied to all elements, and that's okay. That's what we want to happen. So that those 2 become D1, and this one becomes, say, I'm going to make it D2. So that becomes, all of these become D2. Now the issue now here is that it's not like categorizing anything. It's just saying it's just looking at instances of the same dough, but we want to have like a total number, like D1, 2 of those and such. So it doesn't do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here and go to sorting and grouping and say edit, and I'm going to sort by type mark, because that's what I want to sort it by. And I'm not going to this itemize every instance. I'm just going to uncheck this. We don't want to itemize every instance. We want it to be sorted properly. And once that's done, you can also do grand totals if you want to, but I'm just going to leave it as such. Say OK. And now that's what we want to see. We have a D1, we have 2 of D1s, we have 7 of D2s, and that's exactly what we want to have. So we have now we have this stow schedule. It looks fine to me. That's good. Now what we can do is we can right click, create a new schedule for Windows. So I'm going to press my W on my keyboard, go to Windows, and this all is okay. Okay, and here let's do again type mark and family, and what else do we add here? With height, say width and height, and count. We can also add like manufacturer and all that fun stuff. In an actual project you would do that, but we don't have that information right now, so I'm not gonna add those in. Count and then comments. There you go. Alright, say okay, and you have your type marks. All of these I'm just gonna rename them like what we did previously. So W1s 13, this is gonna be W2, and that's it. So the next thing is like what we did previously. I'm gonna sort it. So go here to the properties and go to sorting and grouping, edit, sort by type mark, and I'm gonna uncheck this, say okay. There we have it. So we have 13 of the W1s, 1 of the W2s, and these might change depending on what your window schedule looks like. It's gonna change, but for mine that's what I have. And if I wanted to like add comments for each of these, I can do that here. I can just type something in if I wanted to, or pencil it in afterwards. But this is what it is, how the widths, heights, and it gives enough information for now.